So what is going on, everyone? My name is LittleMarMan. We have another Eisendrache tips and tricks video, and this is basically the best training spot on the map of Eisendrache. If you do go on to enjoy this video, definitely give it a like, and of course subscribe if you are new. It really does help me out and it really does make my day. But this is of course the best training spot on, of course, the map of Eisendrache. This one is up on the Bastein deck, and basically there are so many escape routes. Like, you have the option of using the Death Ray, you have the option of using the Wonder Sphere, you have 3 exits, and of course you have a lot of space. So what can honestly go wrong? I'm basically going to show you my technique. I've gotten up to over round 50 with this training spot, and a lot of people have actually gotten up to over round 80 and 90 with this technique as well. And honestly, it is really easy. Once you stick to its sort of layout and stuff, there's actually a few ways to do it. I'm going to show you both of those and each and everything that you actually need to know about the spot and the technique as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So as I was saying, this is up on the Bastein deck, located basically at the front of the entire map, and once you knock on the power, it's actually at the back of that power room. So once you actually do activate that power, then it's pretty much above double tap and up those stairs, because that power door will actually be activated and it will be open. But basically up on this spot, you can of course have the escape route of the Wonder Sphere over here, so you can basically run over to that and sort of eject yourself if worse comes to worse. And of course you are a bit surrounded, and you do have access to the Death Ray, which only costs 1000 and takes about 2 minutes to cool down. So essentially you can use that once every round once you pass up at round 30, and that is really good. Basically, if you don't know what that does, it basically electrocutes the floor. The whole floor is full of electric current, and once you are down on these steps right in front of the actual Wonder Sphere, then you are alright. You are basically completely away from that electric current, and unlike the zombies, you are still alive. It basically will clear out the entire horde as long as you can get them standing outside those green lights, and that is pretty much it. The actual Death Ray comes in handy a little bit later on when we're talking about taking out panzers in this training spot. So there's basically two techniques that you can actually use using this training spot. I don't know why that's the right English, but let's move on anyway. Basically you can go anti-clockwise or clockwise. Now I'm going to show you anti-clockwise first. Basically you move anti-clockwise, and what you want to do is actually stick to the outskirts, run into the corners and actually use them, skim right by the pack-a-punch, and you need to watch out for the stairs that is just on your right there, and then you pass back by the Wonder Sphere and another stairs sort of to your right once you turn at a right angle. Then there's a door, and you just basically repeat, and at each of those corners you can turn and shoot zombies. I recommend doing it in the corner that I just shot from a second ago with my Draken, because the other one, like the other two should I say, or the other 3 even at that, actually have zombies spawning in them. And honestly, I don't really like this anti-clockwise business too much. I actually prefer the clockwise. Once you make around that pack-a-punch, you are pretty much home free, and then you can continue on and you can actually control the flow of zombies on the far corner. And no matter what round it is, what speed the zombies are actually running at, there will always be a gap. No matter what round, there will always be a gap. And once you spot that as you're passing the Death Ray, you can slide through it or crouch through it, jump through it. As long as you make it through that gap, once again, run right by the pack-a-punch and you're home free. And then just basically, as you're continuing to circulate, basically just shoot the zombies and continue with your train, and then basically repeat this process over and over and over. Recommendations for this, in other words high round strategies: get the electric bow or the lightning bow or the storm bow, whatever you're actually calling it. That is the best bow for this technique. Basically you can shoot where you're about to run, and once you run through that, of course, sort of storm that you've created with this bow, it will take out each and every single one of the zombies, and then all new ones will spawn. It does save a lot of ammo. I know when you hold it back to actually get that effect, it does cost sort of 2 bullets instead of 1, but it actually is definitely worth it. And instead of you having to sort of trigger a few times to kill the horde, you have to shoot it once and run through it, and it's not really affecting your train or anything like that too much. It is definitely 100% worth it. Now, as a side thing, obviously perks, it is really up to you. Stamina up, you don't need too much as long as you know how to sort of jump and slide around pretty fast. And of course then, as an actual side weapon, as I was actually saying, I'd recommend either the KN or the Draken, or some form of automatic or sort of semi-automatic at that weapon that basically has a decent amount of ammo and that you can pack-a-punch, because obviously the pack-a-punch does actually rotate up to this Bastein deck, and like it's pretty easy at that. And now if worst comes to worst, you can easily just head right on down and pick up the Cutter or the Vesper or something like that on either side of this deck, and of course then progress on, and when the pack-a-punch respawns up, then you can actually pack-a-punch it. But basically the electric bow is the best recommendation I have for this spot. If worst comes to worst, you actually do have the death ray on your side. Once you know that you have to be sort of in that little safe zone to actually use it, you have the wonder sphere to get the hell out of there, and then you can teleport and basically mess around with sort of moving yourself around the map, so the zombies have to keep respawning and respawning. You actually get a break from yourself. And of course, if you ever do go down, when you have quick revive on solar or whatever, you can basically then sort of hop out and then run around, and obviously the same things apply. Now, the only problem with each and every training spot is the panzers, because when they're throwing the shock charges and stuff, it does mess it up quite a bit. But this spot, you can easily deal with panzers. Basically, when you see a panzer, what you want to do is knock on the death ray, and then if you took the advice of the electric bow, whether or not you did, shoot him a few times with that, maybe even hold it back and shoot it on him, so that actually does keep him up when the death ray starts to die down. And then with a secondary weapon, or even with that bow, just keep repeatedly shooting him in the head. You will take him out faster than you were expecting, and honestly then you can continue with your train. And since the death ray, if you do it on time, is still up, no zombies are actually crowding you, and then you can continue with this technique and continue training and continue to progress to higher rounds. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button. If you want to see more like it, do be sure to leave a comment down below. And of course, that is pretty much it. Do subscribe if you are new, and that is pretty much it. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all understanding. Peace out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Bye bye.